participant window where I keep admitting people. If you can see that, you'll know that people are still joining, hence I'm waiting. If you can't see, can someone confirm? Can you see any participant window where I'm admitting people? Can you see?
No.
No.
And you can see my screen, right? You can see everything else, but only not. Okay,
Yes.
so maybe that's Zoom's feature. So okay, I'm still accepting people, and so we'll wait for a minute. And I have noticed one thing, guys, that the video is automatically, I guess it's switching on. I'll see if there is any setting. Okay, so I guess we got 32 we had, and we have 31. So let's start. We can start now. Okay. Fine. So guys, when we talk about cloud, there are deployment models or types of cloud. One and same thing. Adding 3 more. Yeah. So deployment model, if the question is what is deployment model or what are deployment models or types of cloud, so the answer is same. Okay. What are those? Public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud, it's a bit confusing. We'll explain it well. Okay, but let's focus on public cloud first. So people who said that they understood it well, but just by reading it, can one of you tell me the example of public cloud, or anyone who didn't say that? That person can also answer. Anyone can answer. Give me an example of public cloud.
Swiggy.
No.
Swiggy can be a good example for a public cloud.
Azure, we can say Azure or AWS, GCP.
Yes. Guys,
AWS,
Swiggy is just an application.
Google App Engine.
Maybe Swiggy is using some cloud. That is that could be a different thing. When I say public
Drive.
Yes.
So Helbhai, here I would like to give the one example, Netflix or Amazon Prime.
No. Don't get confused. That's okay. I will cover it. It's okay. Let's stop answering. I'll cover it. These are companies which are using cloud. Those are not public cloud providers. Okay, so let me explain it. See, this is the reason we have to explain these questions. Just by reading, I'm sure not all of you understand. Few of you who have experience, that's fine. You guys will understand. But we have people इनको नहीं भी समझ में आएगा, and that is completely fine. I'm not expecting कि सब आपको आना चाहिए यहाँ पर. Otherwise, why would you come here? Okay. So public cloud. What is a public cloud? A public cloud is where resources, hardware are owned and maintained by a cloud provider. So guys who are giving example of Swiggy and Netflix and Amazon, does Amazon have some cloud services? Do they have their hardware जो आपको rent पे देंगे वो लोग? They don't have any. तो किसकी ऐसी सर्विस है जिनके पास अपना हार्डवेयर है, अपना डेटा सेंटर है, जिनके पास अपने thousands और lakhs में सर्वर्स है जो आपको रेंट पे देने के लिए रेडी है? So there are famous 3 ही है. One is AWS,
Google,
the other one is Azure, and then Google, which is called GCP. Okay, Microsoft is the owner. Microsoft is the company. Let me bring the notepad. It will be easier for you to understand. Give me a minute, please. So Amazon is the company, and they have their cloud. It's called AWS, Amazon Web Services. Okay, Microsoft. Ignore the spelling mistakes, guys, if there are any. Microsoft is a company, and they have their cloud, which is named Azure. These are products, nothing else, but you can say products or a line of business, you can say. Then Google has their cloud called GCP. And these are the major players, but these are not only. We have IBM also. We have NordCloud. We have
Oracle,
VMware. We have Oracle. We have Alibaba. And there are n number of clouds. उसमें भी बहुत लंबी list है. Okay, but we are not talking about them. In fact, we will not be discussing AWS or GCP also. We'll focus on Azure, which is a product of Microsoft. But these are your public cloud. Now, what do you mean by public cloud? That these companies, they have their data center, they have their network, they have many services. And what are they doing? They are just asking you to use their service and pay the rent. That's all. That's all they are saying. The hardware is shared with multiple companies and tenants. I'll explain this. Lower cost, no maintenance, near unlimited scalability and high reliability. Okay, so let's focus on this one. Is this clear now? What is a public cloud?
Yes, Sohail bhai,
Amazon is a
yes.
company.
Yes, sir.
Their services called
sir.
AWS, that is a cloud. Microsoft is a company. Their services, cloud service is called Azure. Google is a company. Their cloud service called GCP. Okay. Now let's try to understand that why do we need cloud? ये सब क्यों इतना मतलब तामझाम? Why do you want public cloud? Why to do this? In this whole training session, guys, what we will be focusing is on why. That is the very crucial question. If you understand why, you'll understand many things. Okay, so now let's start focusing on why. कि क्यों चाहिए ये सब cloud वगैरह servers? Why do I need it? Now let's take an example of Netflix or Swiggy or anything. For this matter, we can take Swiggy. This is Swiggy app. Let's say this is Swiggy. Okay. Okay. This is Swiggy app. Some business owner, some maybe MBA student or some startup, someone, they had an idea. They thought, okay, we will create an application through which application we will do the food delivery. Okay, this is their business idea. That is fine. They don't have any idea whether it's going to work, it's not going to work. It's fine. But this is the a rough idea. They have a raw idea in their mind. They have. Now they search for some investors and they got the funds and everything has been arranged. Now these are business people. Okay. Some maybe some from IIM वगैरह कहीं से होगे पता नहीं. Okay. They have an idea, but they are not capable enough to implement this idea in terms of technology. In terms of market research, वो सब में they are expert. They are MBA people. They are business people. They have done that. उन्होंने अपने study market study कर ली कि okay, if I go to a hotel, they are ready to pay me 25%. And if I've done a survey जहाँ पे मैंने लोगों से पूछा है कि are you happy to purchase this item 100 for 100 rupees जहाँ होटल पे जाके लाना पड़ेगा, और are you happy to pay 110 but मैं आपको घर पे लाके डिलीवरी दे दूंगा. And people have said okay, I'm happy to pay 110 rupees. उस टाइप का सर्वे जो कुछ करना था, they have done it. They are master at that and they think that this is a good idea. But when it comes to IT implementation, these guys know nothing. So they will go ahead and approach some IT people. Yeah, maybe IIT से होगे, कहीं से भी होगे. They will search some approach some IT company or someone. Now that IT company, they will give them a quotation or something that okay, this is this sort of idea you're talking about. So what will you require? You will require an application. Okay, so you'll require some developer. Application को develop करने के लिए कुछ developer चाहिए होगे आपको. Then you'll have to upload this application to maybe Play Store and Apple Store. वो सब करना होगा आपको. You'll have to create a website so people can using website. Then you'll have to give some application to hotel owners जिससे आप टाइप करना चाहते हो so they can track your order वगैरह, right? Yes, now we are talking about this architecture of the application. कि किस तरह से वो काम शुरू होगा. This is what they are planning. And to summarize all this, इसमें बहुत सारे methods होते हैं, okay, but that is not our topic, so I am skipping and just giving you high level details here. So इसमें बहुत detail में होता है वो कुछ. Okay, but to complete this, to achieve this, what do we need? Then the IT team or IT people, they say that we require minimum 100 servers. Okay, to host your website, to host your application, to host your database, to upload to link all hotels, to have your DB for everything XYZ, to have storage and high availability. Now what is high availability, we'll discuss that later. But all in all, IT people told these marketing people that to implement this idea, I need at least 100 servers. Okay. And now when I saying 100 servers, it's just not only servers. If I need 100 servers, then I need a rack for 100 servers. And there's no rack which can hold 100 servers. So we'll require maybe 5 or 10 racks. Okay. Then what else will I require? A place to keep those 100 servers. Now, if I'm keeping 100 servers in a room, I'll definitely have to control the temperature. I'll require an AC, right? and if I am keeping my 100 servers in a place, server अपने आप में 1 लाख 2 लाख रुपए का hardware आता है. Okay, so just calculate that how much I'm spending. Then I'm giving rent to that place. I'll require maybe a dog or some security guards, right? Guys, ignore the spelling mistakes. I'm not familiar with this keyboard. Okay, I'll require some security guards. I'll have to pay rent. These all things I have to think about, and I'll have to invest initially. Then what else I'll require? These are not only servers. I'm saying I'm an expert with servers. I am an expert with web development, but I will have to connect those 100 servers. So I'll require network, will require ISP. What else will we will need, guys? Power supply, right? And now this is a crucial application I'm talking about. So I can't be dependent on only on one ISP and one power supply. So I'll require backup ISP. एक जियो से ले लिया, एक एयरटेल से. पावर सप्लाई एक महाराष्ट्र स्टेट से ले लिया, मे बी एक अडानी से, और मे बी रिलायंस से. We need something trustworthy. Ignore the spellings, guys. Okay, so this kind of investment you'll require. Now इनके जो fundraisers है, they will say no matter how good you are, guys, और कितना आप लोगों ने अच्छा सर्वे किया है, but the amount of investment which you are asking, it's too much and I don't want to give that. ये आइडिया आपका यहीं पर रह जाएगा. To purchase 100 servers, अगर आप एक सर्वर जो छोटे से छोटा सर्वर भी इसमें, और and this is I'm just talking about, guys, हार्डवेयर. ओके, इसमें लाइसेंसिंग एक अलग चीज हो जाएगा, राइट? सो इफ यू कंसीडर कि एक सर्वर अगर आपका 1 लाख रुपए का, विच इज बेयर मिनिमम, बहुत ही कम बताया मैंने सेकंड हैंड वगैरह कंसीडर करके, यू डू द कैलकुलेशन एट योर ओन. 100 सर्वर्स आपको परचेज करना है, 3 लाख का है कि 2 लाख का है कि, यू रिक्वायर्ड अ प्लेस, एसी, रेंट, सिक्योरिटी. ये बजट आपका कितने में चला जाएगा पता है? ये बजट आपका चला जाएगा करोड़स में, लिटरली करोड़स में चला जाएगा. एंड यू विल नॉट हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ, मतलब छोटा कोई एप्लीकेशन टाइप होता है, सो यू विल नॉट हैव उस तरह का कोई फंड रेजर आपको नहीं मिलेगा जल्दी. नाउ स्विगी इज अ वर्किंग आइडिया, सो दैट इज अ डिफरेंट थिंग. नाउ एनीवन कैन इन्वेस्ट, but when it is coming from inception, from scratch, you will not get people who can invest this much. और इस तरह सा business होता भी नहीं. What if your idea fails? Similar to Swiggy, we had this what did we have? Food Panda, if you guys remember, right? Which failed. So now imagine that Food Panda people, if they would have invested in 100 servers, place, AC, rent, security, तो कितना कुछ इन्वेस्ट करना पड़ता है इनको. इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट ही इनका करोड़स में हो जाता, और मंथली जब तक इनका बिजनेस पूरी तरह से चलने लगता, they would have paid a lot of money. They cannot afford it. So now what to do? Now, should we drop the idea? No. Here the cloud comes to picture. Before we go to cloud, let me quickly show some pictures to you guys, that what are these, because we have discussed these jargons, so I don't want you to just keep thinking about this कि यार ये है क्या. So I'll just show you some pictures, and this is on Google. You guys can search it for yourself. So we talked about servers. Okay, I'm just showing you some servers. You guys can do your own research on this. When I say servers, I'm sure you guys are coming from, a few of you are coming from system admin background, in you know it well, but there are few people who are not coming from this background, hence I'm showing it. So this is the server, guys. Okay, by the way, a server is an operating system. This is a server class hardware, if you want to be very precise. Though in layman term हम इसी को server बोलते हैं, but if you want to be very precise, this is not a server, this is a server class hardware. A server is a software, it's an operating system. Like I have here Windows 11, right? This is my operating system which I'm using on my computer. Like we have Mac, we have Windows 10. These are the client operating system. In similar manner, you have your server operating system. So server operating system, this is my Windows 11. This is a client operating system. So similarly, we have server operating system. तो server कुछ नहीं होता है, एक operating system होता है. वो Windows का हो, IBM का हो, वो Linux, Unix कुछ भी हो, that is an operating system. And the one which we are referring to, these are server class hardware. But in layman term, कभी आप calls पे या office में ऐसा नहीं सुनोगे, यार उस server class hardware को shut down करना. No one will say that. They will simply say उस server को shut down करना, which means you have to come to this server and shut it down. Simple. So this is the server, guys, and this cost approximately 3 lakhs rupees. It's just a fair this one I'm giving you. Okay, HP के होते हैं, इसमें Cisco के हो गए, बहुत सारे हो गए. I'm just showing you one. इसमें models हो गए, बहुत सारी चीजें होती है. Okay, so this is server. Now if I have 100 servers like this, इसको मैं जमीन पे नहीं रख सकता हूँ. Then what will I require? I will require server rack. सर्वर रैक अपने आप में लाखों का, दिस इज अ सर्वर रैक गाइस, ये जो है ये एक सर्वर रैक, दिस इज अ सर्वर रैक, इसका प्राइस आप लोग चेक कर लो, whatever it is. Okay, why am I explaining this to you? So you'll be able to understand what cloud is doing at their data center, right? So this is how it looks, and this is how you insert servers into this. So this is a server rack. Server rack अपने आप में जो है ना लाखों का मिलता है. If you want to see, not sure if say 6500 12 view server, this is very basic. Okay, but you can look for जहां पर भी enterprise type का server rack वगैरह आएगा, it will definitely cost in lakhs. Okay, then what else did we discuss? AC वगैरह वो सब बताने की जरूरत नहीं है आप लोगों को. Okay, the networking. When we say a data center or server racks, इतने सारे अगर server rack हो गए हमारे पास, right? 100 server rack, 100 servers है उसमें, multiple server rack है, so we'll have to connect them. सबको isolate में रख के we are not achieving anything, right? So we have to connect them. To connect them, what do we need? LAN, proper networking. So these are the cables. And a Windows guy cannot do networking. A networking guy cannot do Windows or Linux or anything, operating system. A hardware person cannot do the software thing, right? ये सब अलग अलग चीज है. So we'll require that kind of staff also. अगर if I'm planning to have this application, इतनी सारी चीजें मुझको चाहिए. Okay, you got the fair idea, guys, what I was trying to explain here. एक application बनाने के लिए कितना कुछ ये लगता है? Did you get the idea here? Anyone has any question before I
Yes,
move to
Sohail.
cloud?
Yes, sir, we understand.
Okay. Now let's come back to this one. Now public cloud, what does it say? A public cloud where resources, hardware are owned and maintained by cloud provider. Now this one, ये एक बार परचेज तो ठीक है, पर इस 100 सर्वर में से सडनली कहीं पर लाइट चली गई, एक सर्वर उड़ गया, इसका मेंटेन भी हमको करना है, राइट? सो दिस इज अ लॉन्ग टर्म, और 100 सर्वर्स परचेज करने में टाइम भी काफी लगता है, राइट? कोटेशंस लेना है, प्रिक्योरमेंट करना है, इतना बड़ा पेमेंट करना है. इट इज अ टाइम कंज्यूमिंग प्रोसेस. इफ आई हैव दिस आइडिया इन माई माइंड टुडे, इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने में 6 महीने लग जाएंगे, परचेज करने में, जगह देखने में, ये सब करने में मुझको 6 months लग जाएंगे. On the other hand, now what public cloud says? Public cloud says that I have my database. Let me show it to you. We'll see the data center of Azure. I'm not saying that this is the literal picture of that. It could be a fake picture also, but let's pretend that this is the picture. So this is the public cloud. This is a data center of Azure. Now this is the complete data center. By the way, we have one in Pune also. Okay, so this is the data center. Under this data center, in this data center, they have n number of, or so many racks they already have, and similarly so many servers and storage and networking, everything is already there. Now what Azure says, or what AWS say, that if you have an idea, instead of spending crores and waiting for 6 months, why don't you come to us guys and then rent our servers? What do you need for this? Just the internet, nothing else. Come over the internet, access our services, and you can utilize 100 servers you want, you can utilize 100 servers. That's all you can do. If you want 10 servers, you can do 10 servers. Take 100 servers today, tomorrow you feel you need 150, you take 150 servers tomorrow. You take 50 servers more. Day after tomorrow you feel nahi mera kaam to 20 servers mein hi ho raha hai. Simply shut down other remaining 80 servers and you will be done. Can you do that here? You cannot. If you purchase 100 servers and immediately next week you realize यार 100 नहीं चाहिए थे, 50 में ही काम हो रहा था. You have already spent your money here. Now if you go and sell them and resell, वो आप बेच सकते हो, but that is a different thing. आपका रैक, आपका नेटवर्किंग, आपका मैन पावर जितना आपने लगा लिया, that is your wastage. सेकेंड हैंड में आपका इसका हाफ प्राइस मिलेगा. So you have already wasted crores of rupees. आपके फंड रेजिंग जो आपने की थी उसमें से आपने crores of rupees waste कर दिए already. राइट? और जो आपके इन्वेस्टर है उसका कॉन्फिडेंस आप पे ऑलरेडी लूज हो गया, दैट दिस पर्सन डजंट नो व्हाट ही इज डूइंग. So to avoid that, we have this option called cloud. Now we are just talking about public cloud, guys. So public cloud says that I already have my data center, I already have hardware, I already have server, I already have network. You name it, I have it. You want storage, I have it. You want backup, I have it. What do you want from me? If you ask that cloud provider, he says nothing, just an internet connection. Come to my website and you can simply take all these services on rent. So this is your public cloud. Now what does it mean? Sorry guys, Okay, so now what does it mean? The hardware is shared with multiple companies and tenants. Now in this scenario, guys, I have purchased 100 servers. Okay, I have purchased 100 servers. Now, but on these 100 servers, irrespective of using or not using, do you think Swiggy will allow Zomato to come and they use their servers? Zomato will come, यार मुझको भी एक website ये करना है, host करना है. Will Swiggy allow? Even if let's say that 20 servers are unused, but still can Swiggy allow that? They will never ever allow it.
No.
एक तो competitor है, and Zomato कभी approach भी नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि Zomato will not feel safe नहीं करेगा कि मेरा data Swiggy के पास हो. Forget similar business, कोई और business भी आके इसको कभी approach नहीं करेगा, can I use those 20 servers? Why not? Because if something goes wrong with those 20 servers, who will take care of them? Swiggy परेशान है अपने 80 servers को लेके, किसी और के 20 servers का hectic कैसे लेगा Swiggy, right? And then if those people are coming, इनके data center में आते हैं वो लोग, तो वो एक अलग से परेशानी होगी कि then they will have access to my servers. So that is never ever going to work. So if I have 100 servers and I'm using only 80 servers, my 20 servers are wastage. But the confidence here is that no one is sharing my server. But एक food company को, do you think इतने कोई privacy की जरूरत है? This is not some stock market और कोई banking app. आपका कोई banking का data नहीं है. Who cares whether you are eating a burger or a donut or shawarma? Who cares that, right? और उतना easy वैसे भी नहीं होता ये करना. So when it goes to a cloud, now Swiggy says I am okay to share my hardware, but I don't want to do it on my servers. That is not a good way. So can I get someone who can have their hardware and I can use it and someone else can use it and they take the guarantee कि server खराब हो गया तो मेरी guarantee नहीं होनी चाहिए. So to answer that business query, the IT solution is again cloud. What cloud says that I have my servers, I have a number of servers, you come, you just use the portal, use it. But with that, there is a condition. What this public cloud is saying, now we will gradually move to Azure, guys, okay? But everything is same. When I say Azure, even AWS will do the same thing and GCP will do the same thing. Till here, it applies to everything. इसके आगे जाके हम उसको narrow down करेंगे. We'll discuss the services which are only applicable to Azure. Okay, but till here, though I am saying Azure, but it applies to AWS also, it applies to GCP also. So now what Azure says here, that you come to my portal, you use my hardware, you pay me rent, that is fine. But I want to make a declaration here that the hardware is shared with multiple companies and tenants. Companies and tenants are same thing here. What is the specific definition of tenant? We'll do that later. Okay, uska topic alag se hai. Okay, but what here the cloud is saying, or the Azure is saying, that the hardware you come here, I'm happy to give it to you. You use it, but it is shared. Well, now, what do you mean by shared? That on one server, I can run multiple machines also. How to do that? We'll see that later. But the Azure is saying, okay, then I have a server here. Okay, now Azure is doing a business. Yeah, Azure कोई charity नहीं कर रहा है, right? So Azure will think of ways जहां पर maximum utilization हो सके, right? So Azure has a server. Let's say in this rack, we are specifically talking about this server. In this rack, we are talking about this server, specifically this server. Can you guys see the highlight? I have highlighted one server. Can you see that?
Yes, Soil.
Okay, okay. So let's say that we are talking about specifically about that server, and now that server is Dell server, maybe 720. It's a new server. It's a nice one server. Okay, this server has a good capacity. This server has 120 GB RAM, and it has 1 TB of data, 1 TB of this one, you say hard disk. But Swiggy has approached me that Swiggy wants to use this server, but Swiggy says that is not my requirement. I do not want 1 TB of 1 GB of RAM or 128 GB of RAM. Can you just give me 64 GB RAM? I'll pay only for 64 GB RAM, and I don't want 1 TB of hard disk. I want only 500 GB hard disk. Can you give that to me on rent? Now, if Azure says no, Azure is losing on business. So Azure says yes, why not? It's Azure's technology. Azure will literally virtually divide this server. Okay, this server Swiggy is using. Fine. This is dedicated to Swiggy. You pay me for 64 GB RAM and 500 GB hard disk. You use it or you don't use it, it's up to you, but I am taking rent from you. Now, what about this server? Now, if Azure do not give it to anyone, Azure is taking loss on their business. Then Azure says, okay, someone else approaches, maybe Zomato, maybe from same business, maybe from some other business. some OLX business. They have nothing to do with their this business, food business. OLX says, okay, I am also in need of one server, though nothing happens with one server. Okay, this is just an example to make you understand. इस तरह से एक सर्वर आधे सर्वर में कोई काम नहीं चलता है. एप्लीकेशन रन करनी होती है ना, so you'll require this kind of infrastructure इस type का लगता है. Okay, but this is just to explain it to you. OLX says I am also in a need of half of a server जहाँ पे मुझको 32 GB RAM चाहिए और 200 GB disk. That's all. What Azure will do? Fine, take this, pay for this. 64 GB इसको दे दिया, out of 128 GB 64 Swiggy को दे दिया, 34 OLX को दे दिया, and the 32 GB is still free. Now some other company, maybe a startup like me, UT-Kloud, I don't want to purchase a server. My classes have just started. I'm not sure if I'm going to get fees from you guys or not. Maybe half of you guys will leave, half of you will not. You will promise and not pay. Don't take anything personally, guys. Okay, just giving example for fun of it. Okay, so maybe I don't even know whether I should buy a server or not. So I'll approach now Azure and I'll say that I need a server, very small server, 16 GB. I just have to host one website. I have to keep my data so my student can come here and fill their data, and that's all. I don't even need 32 GB, but I'm approaching this one. So now Azure has given this server to me. Again, 16 GB is pending. Now someone wants to practice, someone wants to do something, they can take 8 GB or whatever they want. So this is how a server is divided. You don't have to do it. It's Azure's hectic how to do it. Okay. So this is how a server is divided. And that is what it says here. That, okay, you're coming to me, I have hardware, I have everything, but this is a declaration that my hardware is shared with multiple companies. So now you guys understood these two sentences?
Yes.
Yes, Sohail bhai.
Is there any kind of
Yes.
technical term for this division of hardware?
You don't have to do that. You simply have to ask. You ask Azure, I need a 32 GB hard, this one. Though we will discuss that, how is it being done, but it won't be a part of your job. I mean, if let's say you are working as an Azure administrator, so the request which you will get from your client or from your application owner or your company that I need a server on Azure, this is the specification. You will get a server build form, this kind of server build form. I'll show you one form, not now, it's too early, but this kind of request you'll get. It could be on Jira, it could be on ServiceNow or any server team, ticketing tool, or maybe an email that, okay, application owner, let's say that PeopleSoft application owner request, ignore the spelling mistakes, guys, requested a server. What kind of server do you want? Windows server. Windows which version? 2K19. What should be the RAM? 32 GB. What should be the hard disk? 500 GB. What else? Do you have any other specification? How many disks do you want? He says 3 disks, 500 GB each. Okay, this is what you have asked them. You have got this request and you just have to go to Azure portal and request this kind of server. How to do that? I'll show it to you. Maybe not in today's session, but that is part of our this one. Here, if you come, virtual machines, Azure virtual machine types, how to create one, there you will learn this. So here, what was your job? To gather information and give information to Azure. In what form you will give it to Azure, that we will learn. But nowhere you had to do that division. Nowhere you had to divide that server. You don't even know कि आपको Azure ने जो server दिया है ना, आपको पता भी नहीं होगा कि वो maybe वो सिर्फ 32 GB का आपको अकेले को दे दिया, or maybe 128 GB में से 30, you won't even come to know. So that is not your hectic. Is it clear?
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, but there is, let's say that I am hosting a crucial app. मैं कोई छोटा ही मेरा startup है, but this is something related to finance, where I do not want to share my server at all. So I can request a dedicated server. How we do that? We'll discuss that also. But I want to let you know, because we are discussing this topic here, so I want you to keep this in your mind that this is not the only option we have. Otherwise, जिनका crucial data है government वगैरह वाले, वो they don't care about money. The data is more important to them, right? Banking sector, they don't care about money. They say, don't give me discount. Tell me whether you can give me this security. My server is not going to be shared with anyone. So yes, that option is also there. There maybe you will have a similar server. इसी तरह का requirement है. बट वहां पर वो सर्वर 64 GB का हो सकता है और मे बी 32 GB का, एंड यू आर यूजिंग ओनली 16 GB. इवन इफ इट इज एम्प्टी, वो खाली भी पड़ा होगा, सो Azure इज नॉट गिविंग इट टू एनीवन एल्स. किसी को नहीं देगा Azure. And again, I'm repeating myself, it's not only Azure, AWS and GCP, same method applies everywhere. If you have asked for a dedicated hardware, they will give it to you. You use it, you don't use it, they are not sharing it. But are they doing any favor for that? No. इसके लिए यहाँ पर शेयर के लिए अगर आपको 5,000 rupees, numbers are just for understanding guys, do not quote me on numbers, 5,000 rupees per month अगर इसके लिए चार्ज कर रहे हैं वो लोग, so a dedicated के लिए वो आपको 10,000 चार्ज करेंगे. Why? Because आपने उनका जो है एक सर्वर होल्ड कर रखा है. You're using it or not, it's not their problem. Got it? Any questions,
Yes.
guys? Okay. Now the third point: lower cost, no maintenance, near ultimate scalability, unlimited scalability, and high reliability. I think first two sentences are self-explanatory. Lower cost. Why? I can take it today. I can shut down the server tomorrow. एक नया सर्वर परचेस करने में जहां पर मुझको लाख रुपए लग रहे थे, Azure से सर्वर रेंट पे लेने में उसको 5,000 per month लग रहे हैं, which I'm not paying right away. 5,000 if I pay, if I use the server for whole month. I can take the server today. Today is 4th Feb. I can take the server today and I can shut it down tomorrow. I'm not liking it. Here I'm not paying for month. I'm paying only for one day. Okay, I take this server today, this time, and I shut down the server at this time. I'm paying only for this time, only for 45 minutes. Do I have that liberty here? No. The moment I purchase the server, it's my hectic now. I use it, I don't use it, I have paid for that already. But that is not the case in Azure. That is the reason it is lower cost. No maintenance. I've purchased this server, everything is fine. While putting this in rack, इस server को मैं यहाँ पर उठा के rack में रख रहा था, okay? Due to maybe my problem or someone from my one of my employees, they were not very careful with this, and we were trying to keep a server here, and server fell down. Is manufacturing going to return that to me? I did that, right? मेरे हाथ से गिर गया वो server. So I'm not getting anything until that is, if it is insured, that is a different thing. Insurance is a different thing. We are paying extra for that. But यहाँ पर ये भी chances है that कुछ गिर सकता है, maybe short circuit हो गया किसी reason से, वो सारा maintenance it's up on me. But when it comes to cloud, I don't care. I have taken one server on rent. If that server is not working fine, they simply have to move my machine to other server, and replacing that server, replacing that hardware, fixing that hardware, claiming it guarantee, or whatever they want to do, it's Azure's hectic, not mine. I have paid you that I want services as one virtual machine. I should get that. If it is happening on one physical server, and if that physical server is down, that is not customer's hectic. What Azure will do, it simply move that to some other hardware, and repairing their own hardware, replacing it, it is Azure's responsibility. So lower cost, no maintenance. Why do I say scalability? Unlimited scalability. What do you understand by scalability, by the way? Can anyone explain it to me? Only 5 minutes are left, guys, for this session, so be quick.
Increasing the size of the servers.
Yeah, scalability in short is elasticity, I would say. It's not only in terms of servers. कोई भी चीज scalable है मतलब मैं इसको बढ़ा सकता हूँ, कम कर सकता हूँ. Okay. So yes, same thing. So let's say that I have taken this server with 32 GB. Tomorrow I feel I do not want 32 GB. I want 64 GB. Day after tomorrow I see no, I want 16 GB. So I can do that. Can I do it here? No, I cannot. I have purchased a server. Yes, what I can do, I can remove some memory sticks, RAM में निकाल कर रख सकता हूँ. But am I getting some benefit out of it? मैंने एक server खरीद लिया 128 GB RAM का, and tomorrow I think 64 GB ही चाहिए मुझको. Maybe I can remove those 64 GB RAMs, उसमें से निकाल के मैं 64 GB. But I'll have to utilize it somewhere. Otherwise मैंने pay तो कर दिया उस 128 GB का. और अगर कहीं और पर भी requirement नहीं है, So I have paid for that. Maybe I can have a server. एक server में मैं RAM खींच के निकाल सकता हूँ 64 GB के कुछ. I hope you guys have understanding, right? How RAM looks. So see, this is the server. Let's say अगर ये एक 10 GB और 12 GB का तो इतने सारे RAM हैं. Later I realize I don't want these many, so I can plug it something like this. I can plug that RAM. तो ठीक है, मेरा server तो हो गया कम GB का, but still I have paid for this RAM. Ultimate value कुछ नहीं मिल रहा मुझको. Unless I have another server जहां पे जरूरत थी, वैसा coincidence था तो एक अलग बात है. ठीक है, I got saved. But वो एक server की कहानी है. But I have already overpaid for everything. That is not the case. But when it comes to cloud, आपने बोल दिया 32 GB में से 16 GB में से 8 निकाल दो, मुझको 8 ही चाहिए. Now Azure, what Azure is doing with that 8 GB RAM? None of your concern. You are paying only for 8 GB. तो ये आपका per month में भी 3000 पे आ जाएगा. Are you getting it, guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
High reliability, same thing. Okay, when your server goes down, it is up to you. कि आपका engineer आएगा, वो replace होगा, आप complaint raise करोगे. You do not have an alternate. But when it comes to Azure, Azure will simply move your machine to some else, some other server, and they will work on that. At least your server will be up and running. 3 minutes are left, guys, with this session. I had to explain this in very thorough manner. So these next two won't take this much time. Before I start with private cloud, anyone has any questions, please let me know. I'm not starting with private cloud. Only 3 minutes are left for this session. If you guys want a break, we'll take a break of 5 minutes, or we can start without any break. First, tell me that. Are you guys taking a break? If you want a breather
No.
of 5 minutes, I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Just 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, we still have 2 minutes left. Any questions, guys?
No.
Either you understood everything or you didn't understand anything. Which one is
Yeah,
the
we
case?
got it, sir.
Sure, guys, you understood it well.
Yeah.
Yes, Soil.
Yes.
Yes, Sohail.
Yes.
Now your job will be to at least go ahead and read it when the class is over today and tomorrow. For next week, at least read it. I'm not asking you to explain it in the same manner. Interviewer को आप इतनी देर explain करोगे, वो वैसे ही रुका देगा आपको. ठीक है? They hardly will get 45 or 30 minutes to evaluate you. अगर आप 40 minutes एक question पे करोगे, वो वैसे ही रुका ही देगा. And that should be the aim. You keep on saying, let interviewer stop you. Let him think, okay, he knows, fine, stop, that's fine. Done for the day, that is fine. Okay, so that should be the approach. We have 1 minute left. Yeah.
These all study material and notes will be shared, right?
It's already there, because I'm not sure if you're there in the new group of WhatsApp. That's I have been saying, guys, get in touch with me, please, so we can discuss the fees and everything, and I can, once it is finalized. There are many people, guys, who have promised to pay. I'm not saying that you pay and then only I'm enrolling you. Okay, and trust me on this, there are people who are not paying because I know them, their financial condition is not good, so I'm happy with that also. But you will have to approach and you will have to discuss that, and then only I'll add you. Okay, we'll do that. Now, Munir, I'll add you separately. If I share the link, then many people will be there and I won't be able to focus on that. So guys, we are taking a break of 5 minutes. It's 15:20 now. I'll see you at 15:25. 3:25 IST. Okay, and then we'll discuss this one. We'll discuss this one. These two won't take much time now, but then again, when we come to new topic, this is going to take some time. Okay, see you guys in 5 minutes. We'll use the same link. 3:25.
Okay.